don't know about this whole prospect of like living with a woman for the rest of my life. Like, you know, it sounds good at first. It sounds like kind of fun or interesting. You don't have to do laundry. You know, you don't have to worry about kind of taking care of the house. But, you know, then the prospect of just like, it goes on and on and on. You know, I don't know how thrilled I am with that whole idea. You know, I'm kind of a solitary individual. I like my privacy. I like my autonomy. And just the idea of like nagging GF, nagging wife. It's a little nightmarish to me.
Do you have a good relationship with your mom?
I love my mom. Yeah, I love my mom.
Mm-hmm.
She works now, but, you know, when me and my sister were growing up, she raised me. She quit her job to stay at home and raise us.
And what's your sister like? Do you get on with her?
Yeah, she's my twin. She's probably the opposite of me. She's more calm, sort of introverted. Yeah, but we get along.
Do you respect women? But you just don't want them to have any rights?
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't say they shouldn't have rights.
But women too. I mean, I dare say, from my understanding of many of your viewpoints, you also promote like the way of interacting with women. And I go, have you been in a relationship with a woman?
No.
How to behave towards women where you yourself have not had any actual physical, you know, interaction with them in a romantic capacity, or in fact in any capacity where you know, uphold them in a way that treats them with respect. I mean, arguing that women are basically half the value of, well, you know, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, in fact, because that's not right. Mm-hmm. But, you know, looking to some other regimes around the world that do think that women are half the value of a man, I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to you know, basically promote these ideas.
Well, I'm having an experience with a woman right now, and I've had lots of experiences with, and I've talked to enough women. I've been in, you know, I've known enough women to know sort of what's going on. And I think any man who is observant enough, and honestly, you know, like I said, we could go back to great geniuses. We could go back to people that have been in relationships. Like a perfect example is like the pickup artists.
Sid, I do know many of your views on women, which I find abhorrent. I'm going to be honest. I don't agree with you in any capacity on that front, for obvious reasons. Yeah. But I actually went into this reasonably, like, not really knowing your broader you know, views on things, and so I don't really have an opinion of you, if I'm honest. That's why, I mean, it's really funny, people are like, Sydney's really triggered, and I'm honestly just sitting here just listening and just, you know, getting a feel for things. So Elijah, it's interesting, I think you're being very respectful, and I think that's really nice, because people make you out to be this, you know, assassin that's going to just stab everybody in the face. And I think you are being very respectful, and you know, you're obviously very polite in person, but dude, your followers are very interesting people.
Yes.
And I find it interesting how you appear certainly one way in person, and I would say you're nice in person, and then you know, in the chat, I don't understand.
Okay, let's look at 1 Corinthians 14. 1 Corinthians 14. Some people think that there's power when you teach and say something and when people listen to you. No, actually, you got to realize there is more learning, there is more knowledge. More wisdom is grown not by shooting off your mouth. More wisdom is more found by shutting your mouth. So if you want to be wise, women, it's not more of this. It's more of this. Why do you say that? Because even God says that concerning anybody, male or female, at the book of Proverbs. He that shutteth his lips is wise. A fool is known by the multitude of words he speaks. Okay, now look at 1 Corinthians 14. Look at verse 34. Let your women keep what? Silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. Well, I don't like that. I'm not going to become smarter that way. Not smarter. Look at verse 35. And if they will what? Learn. If they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. Now look at this. So it's not about women, hey, y'all listen to me, with a bunch of grown male over there. That's not how God ordained the church. That's why we don't have women preachers. You notice that. When there are grown males involved over here. It is what? The women, they only can have that role when it's children and with other women. That's it. But with the whole church, women cannot do that. But then I'm going to be dumb and stupid. What do you mean dumb and stupid? You learn through this. You learn through silence. You know why? Because you're not talking, you're listening. Yeah. You're writing notes. And I've learned that as a pastor, that what helped me a lot to grow in wisdom was actually more of listening rather than talking. When I hang around with, especially with preachers, it's very tempting. This is for young males too, zealous for the Lord. Listen up now. It is very tempting to shoot off your mouth, okay? Because you're just immersed by fellowship and excitement. But when you do that, okay, you got to realize that sometimes you're going to miss out a lot of gold mine that the older preacher or the man of God is telling to you, and you're not listening. Yeah. I've done a lot more listening than talking this time. I've asked a lot more questions than telling this time. I've learned to do that. So women are to do that. Women are to do that. Now notice right over here, they get a bonus, not just from church, obviously, but also what? The husband. So they get a bonus of not just learning from the church, but learning also from the husband. It is the husband's job to be able to teach the wife. Now, I'm not going to pound on men here. This is not your sermon time. But you men have a task and a responsibility to lead the house. If your woman's messing up, that fault is on you because you're not leading, teaching the woman rightly. Why do you think that me as a pastor, I was very selective with the woman that I would be involved with? See, it comes down to where you are able to lead and guide the woman right. That fault is on you men. Amen. I know that everyone has a free choice in it. Even if your wife is the devil, I get it, that's hard to control, even if your wife is the devil. Now, women, your husband can be the devil too, so that's even more sad of a state for you, so I feel bad for you. But the thing is, the point is for you men that I'm preaching against you, is that's why you have to learn about consequences of your action. See, selecting a spouse is important. Making sure you prepare for marriage and everything is important. Everyone goes by the lust of the flesh, let's do it. That's the problem. That's why there's fornication too. Let's just do it, man. That's the problem with people.